Lizard.
Grey Wolf underscore G4L is here first.
Okay. So how are we all doing today? I'm debating what I want to do. So we could do the Knights of the Round Table and do excuse me. We could do some Knights of the Round Table, do the Lady of the Lake, and start her up. Which might be fun. It might be fun. Paint with some water and some blues. Maybe just a smidge of green. Hi, can I help you? Well, can I help you right now, sweetie? You wanna be right there? Be right there. It's okay with me. And then hey, hey, can I help you? Is there something you're after right now? There we go. Hi, Alliant Creative. How are you? How was your day? 4-day weekend for antifreeze. Good evening, Mechanic Games. Hi, Barbie. That tends to be a Friday redeem. Friday, as soon as I go live, someone's slamming that redeemo. Every Friday. If I stream on a non-Friday, Barbie, I'll give you a heads up so you can be the one to redeem it. Because it's on a six-day cooldown. I said, Barbie, you don't work every Friday, sir. Oh, you work every Friday? Okay, I'll put you on the list as well. How goes you, Hooty Hoot? We're going to work on the Lady of the Lake. She's working on something special for the dwarves. I have pot roast and tacos. White people tacos. You go to work on Friday, but you're not at work in the evenings. Give me 1 second, Myth. I'll get it for you. Yeah, it's accessible. So this is Reaper's Shimmer Scale. They are from the Bone 6 Kickstarter. They do have a separate. You can buy it as an individual piece now. And the colors of it were different. It was more purpley, and I just didn't want to do all purple. So I stayed with the kind of green, vibrant colors and gold looking things. And then I used rainbow for his claws, or their claws. A couple different spots. The wings are shot and transparent as well, so I used speed paints and kind of colored them in and used yellows and blues and lined them just to kind of help keep the pops in there. And then the base is clear as well. Hello. Hello, Mama Ion. Tonight is Mix It Up Monday, so we mix all of our own colors. And oddly, I've picked all of the Big Child Creatives Arthurian Legends set, and I usually do that. So we're going to work on Lady of the Lake. So we have to get the lake swirling up around the Lady of the Lake, which I don't know what I'm going to fully do her in terms of colors, but it shall need to be bright. So I figured I'd start with the base and we'll work our way up. Up and up and up and up. And thank you for the follow, Myth. And I hope you're having a fantastic Monday, as fantastic as it can be. Good evening, Grand Robert. It was an okay day. We survived. We survived to paint. And that is important. Bum, 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 ba-da, bum. Just kind of like that. Just kind of like that a little bit. Ooh, Prime and starts your pink and green Wraithlord. That's awesome. That's all kinds of fun. Pink is one of those colors that's highly underrated. We don't use it enough. Sometimes it feels like. And as a warning, I re-enabled Nightbot's filter protection. It's set to an aggression, highly aggressive mode right now. Just as a heads up. Hi. Hello. How are you? You want to say hello to Barbie? Mama Ion? Hmm? Want to get another meow meow? Can we get a meow meow? Can we get a meow meow? Love you too, sweetie. That's good. I didn't have to worry about much. Most of it melted today when the sun came out. Weird being sub freezing temperatures, and all of a sudden you see like all of the melt's starting to drip. It's like, cool. So it's, yeah. When I was able to get out and open the trash can today, at least, so I could throw out someone's litter droppings. Hmm. Hmm. Hi. Hello. You okay? Hmm. Can I help you? We're not drinking that. We're not drinking that right now. Hmm. Feeling better now? Okay, you're gonna do this. I want to back up every time I put your butt. Hello. Who's my pretty kitty? There we go. There we go. Thank you. Thank you for cleaning yourself right here in front of me. Very, very efficient use of my time. Thank you, my love. I was on the phone with my mom before stream started. I had the phone on speaker, and she's like trying to like claw at the phone and bite it. And I'm like, why are we biting at my cell phone? Please stop. There you go. Kitty is on stream in her little bed. laid back. It's laid back. Super Mario Brothers 2. Did you know that they made Kaizo level Super Mario 2 hacks? Kaizo is the super hard Mario stuff that you often see in shorts, where I have like the crazy insane levels where they got to make like all the complicated jumps and learn a pattern to beat the level. But someone did it with Super Mario Brothers 2, and the physics of it's weird. So it's like a really complicated puzzle game that you have to get through. But it became like just a way to make some really insanely hard games or levels for your friends. Which is, fine. It's just I thought it was funny that there was one of Super Mario Brothers 2. How are you doing tonight, Fred? Was your warehouse nice and cold as you expected it to be? Hey, what's up there, Sinister Blank? I hope you're doing well. That's what I thought. When there's no airflow, the cold tends to linger a little bit longer. Some Dark Eldar. Grand Robert was actually painting up a Wraith Lord in a pink and green scheme. I was like, oh. We're working on the Lady of the Lake tonight. This is her base. She's going to hang out like that. Coming out of it at some point. Ouch. That's no bueno. I mean, it's good for summertime, but yeah. Just different level of polish. Just a different level of polish, Sinister. That happens. That happens all the time. One of the things I found with brass is to try to just use those little red and black was my favorite for brass, and using yellow. But then again, I don't get to do a lot of non-metallic brass, so I have to continuously work at it. Yeah, red, yellow, and an off-white. Yep, that would work too. I was following the um, Tenbray from Chimera. They did a little bit of a art book for it, and one of the recipes had, and there was brass for one of the demons. And the artist went from red oxide black to essentially red to warm yellow and white, and then used a red verdigris or a green verdigris after the fact and glazed over it. I don't like that. It's green. I need to change that. So it's it's always fun. Just the question is, how much fun do you want it to be? Yeah, you do. Instagram links are safe. Instagram is safe. I whitelisted that one. You're good. You're all good. Trust me, you're all good. That's beautiful. I see what you mean by it. The purple would work a little bit awesome there. Um, how do you organize things Instagram? Since I was there, it was a lot easier to look for it. Copy link. Paste. Thank you. Good evening, King Dixon Balls. Um, if you scroll past the first image or two image of that Sinister, that was kind of like a copper that I was playing with. But burnished brass, I could see what you were meaning. I swapped it around in my head. Those were the pins I was talking about. Yeah. I it feels like last year I was doing nothing but non-metallic metal and kept at it, and eventually it started clicking a little bit more with me. Eventually it clicks with you. It's green. I don't want that to be green. When I started painting, I was like, I'm never going to learn that because I don't have time. It was kind of my excuse. And I mean, it's a fine excuse. It's just not one that. Eventually, I got over it because I liked the way it started going a little bit differently. So I adjusted my attitude. As one would say. And it's kind of helped become a better painter sometimes, thinking about light and how to make it move around the subject. When I was working on the Belmouth bust from Chimera, I was following Fabrizio's guidance on it, and I was not blown away, but impressed with how little he could do with how much he was working with. Um, just in terms of what he did on the bust. Yeah, and I mean that's what it is. It's a mood. If you want to make a mood, you make a mood. You define a mood. You go, I'm going to make a mood this way today, and it's like, okay, that is what we're doing today. Because you can really do a lot of dramatics with it, but at the same time, it's like, yeah. Because I actually have a bottle of Vallejo metal color on my shelf that I use all the time. That when I'm painting something, I don't want to go like super complicated on, and I just be like, I want to paint this thing. It's it's weird to see the thought process that goes behind people that talk about non-metallic metal versus metallic metal. So NNM versus TNM is that they tend to work and fail at the same time, no matter what. And I think part of the reason why I struggle with it is you tried to quit making puns, but you just couldn't bottle it. Oh no, Zelly. Yeah. And then that's what it turns down to is I think, what was it? Maniac, Scott the Miniature Maniac was talking about it one day. He was painting non-metallic. He was like, I'm going to paint TMM. And he's like, the rules are exactly the same as non-metallic metal. It's just use of metallic paints. It's like, okay. Well, I was shit at the other one, so guess I'm going to be shit at it now, too. But it's interesting. Sorry, Hootie. Currently busy streaming. So, where's it at? It's right over there. One second. I need to go check my front door to make sure he's not actually there. I don't want him out in the cold by himself.
Katra. Siskov just showed up with 17 viewers. Hope they have treats.
Welcome in for that raid, Siskov. Brr, 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 brr. What were you working on, new friend? What were you up to? Do enlighten us and do tell us the fun story. And welcome in, Raiders. I'm Petty Paint Paints. We're having a riveting discussion about TMM versus non-TMM. And I am working on a base for the Lady of the Lake from Big Child Creatives. We're on Mix It Up Monday, where we mix up all of our own colors. Welcome in. I've been here before. I do enjoy that name. Cthulhu may die. Ooh, interesting. That sounds beautiful and fun. I do like me some Cthulhu. So to answer your question, so Sinister, I started doing this painting, or this color penciling right here. Because I wanted to make a backdrop for this art piece right here to kind of keep the thing flowing and kind of wrap it around so it looks a little bit more three-dimensional sort of deal. Because I mean, she's going to kind of be like positioned like that, so you can kind of see a forest in the background sort of deal. I was really mad at work one day when I started this way too high. I need to bring this down to make the trees longer, but then I have to do that all the way through. But it was a 2D art for this piece, just to kind of help give that fall vibe a little bit more. Broke the pencil because I was on a really bad call that day. But yeah, so she would sit like this kind of deal, and that way it would all kind of blend together, and no matter what angle you looked at her from, it would be kind of cool for that fall look. Yeah. She's usually the Saturday project. It's this one from Chimera. Cthulhu May Die. I might have to look up that game. Did you just convince me to buy new things, Siskoff? Blame you. I blame you. Wah, ah, 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 ah. And bonus measures show. Yeah, I understand. On Sunday or tomorrow night. Holy cow! Tomorrow night, I don't have to paint the Borderlands Batasaurus Rex. Holy shit! Or Wednesday night. On Wednesday night, we paint up board game stuff. I'll be working on either the Elden Ring Pumpkin Knight or the Demi Human Queen. One of the two. I'm not sure which. Or we'll work on some skags. One of the two. I don't know which one we'll work on just yet. She is hanging out and sleeping somewhere else right now. She'll probably be back in like 15, 20 minutes. Thank you for that lurk. Thank you for that raid. Be awesome and hang out. And I hope you have a great day. And I hope your stream was amazing. S Y. So that's usually why I go to Reaper for most of my fantasy miniatures, is they tend to have relatively inexpensive figures. And their detail has been growing really well. She's a Reaper mini. She's a more current Reaper Bones 5 or Bones 6. There's some issues down here with the sword. This was her metal version that I painted in 2020. Yeah. The Bones is fun. Auntie paints a lot of Reaper. I know that. I paint most of my fantasy miniatures are Reaper. The dragon I was working on last night was Reaper. Yeah, it that is one of the hardest things we do, is find something that fits the aesthetic that we want. It's like, oh, yeah. But you can sometimes find something close with Reaper, and that's kind of fun. Um, the rogue I was working on last week was from Reaper as well. It's challenging. So Reaper's actually a licensed Pathfinder maker, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, but the Jason Weeby and Werner Locke, they're really good. Julie Guthrie's good as well. Bobby Jackson. All the bugbears I painted, they were by him. The mouselings that I'll paint are not by him, they're by Gene Van Horn, I believe. The big uh, you say Lim as a halfling bard, but then I remember Mela and Lim that I painted for the Bones of Anya, which were two mind flayers. I paint furries too. I'm not afraid. I'm not ashamed, Hootie. I should. You paint dwarfs. I do find it ironic the owl pointing out the furry painting. Hootie's such a sweetheart. You're a dwarven owl. Is it? Owls with beards. Yeah. You know, Hootie could be a female and we would never know because of the beard. Hmm. Hello, Boogie. How you doing? Backbone systems, interesting. I'm doing well. We're working on a water risk base of sorts that I am slapping as many different blues and greens on as I can in the hopes that it looks convincing. Did you have a mission where you had to figure out the 11 herbs and spices? It was one of the episodes of Sinister, of Farscape. when they were robbing the bank. Um, Crichton used Colonel Sanders as his items that he had to store. It was one of the funnier moments of that show. I found hilarious. Yeah. It's kind of when they started introducing. It's kind of when Scorpius ended up running along with them a little bit more. Yeah. To the point where they had to blow the bank up to get the thing out. And then they get the thing out, and all of a sudden they go, whoops, it was poisoned. Scorpius was a weird character that they brought in. Like, he was an interesting bad guy. They definitely experimented with him quite a bit. I don't fully know if I like all of the experiments because he went from being not a friend to being weird about everything. I liked Scorpius when he was in the head. And he was being like just like constantly kooky and a manifestation of stuff. Um, because when Crichton was able to convince him, yeah, that Scorpius was hilarious. It was just like, here we go, Johnny boy, and it's like, what? He's like, yes. Because at one point, Mind Monster Scorpius becomes aware of what he is and doesn't want to die. And he's like, I don't want to do that. That's silly. I want to stay alive. I want to enjoy the place I am because I get to exist. Yeah. That was that part when they started introducing stuff like that was interesting. Um, this when Scorpius ended up joining the crew of Moya, it's just like, why is he here? Because sometimes he does stuff and sometimes he doesn't. Yeah, it. I like Fish Out of the Water series a lot, and Farscape was that for me too. I was like, oh, this is actually really interesting how they're trying to meld some of that stuff together. The Peacekeeper Wars were the conclusion to it was wonky, but it was what it was. Damn it! Now after when I've watched it, I know. And then when Vala and Crichton ended up joining up, yeah, it did an okay job of wrapping it up. It just you could tell stuff was rushed. You want to talk about a show with furries, Hootie? That was a furry coated show left and right. The art direction from Jem Henson as the puppeteer and some of the massive set pieces they made. Oh my god. That was peak sci-fi when they spelled it right. Yeah. Cadrago. Pilot. Yeah. I enjoyed the 1980s Battlestar Galactica. Um, and then you had the remake. Both of them were good. Like I like the remake a little bit better just because It talked about stuff. Yeah. The remake, the remake of that came after Farscape, and it was just crazy how they made both of them so well, and now they can't make anything. Yeah, um, because they had. Yeah, we don't talk about Babylon 5. It's okay. We don't say it's good. It's okay. I still laugh at that joke from The Big Bang Theory. I never understood why Sheldon did. I liked it, but it's not one that I'm going to go back and rewatch. We do have ads coming up. Stargate Atlantis was so much fun, but it suffered from so many different directions. It couldn't figure out which way it wanted to keep going because they couldn't. They made an enemy that was always meant to not. Uh, okay, Andromeda was fun until it wasn't, and then it got super weird for no reason. Like I don't understand why it was so complicated for that show. They just but Sorbo. Thank you for that shirts, Jay. Really, I liked the beginning premises of it, and then I think I fell out of it because it was so hard to watch because it was on serialized TV at the time. So I never fully watched it, and then I got interested and went back and like figured out what happened to it and read the story synopsis. I was like, oh, I see why it failed. Yeah. Um, I remember that when I was younger because I got to watch like the first couple of seasons, like the first season of it or something was on TV. And I remember it, and it was really interesting because they were trying to do that and um, audio tapes of Perry Roden stories. That was it. Oh, that does sound nice. But the like some of the original some of the stuff on sci-fi before it got really weird was really great. Like Warehouse 13. I never got into the one with the sheriff. I could never get into that show. I just could not watch it to save my life. I can't even think of the name of it right now. Eureka. That's what it is. It it was good. I just could not watch it. Like the premise of it was fun. I enjoyed everything about it. Like the character from Eureka, one of the sidekicks for that sheriff, was one of the mainstays on Stargate Atlantis. Yeah, Warehouse 13 was a lot of fun. Like that show was goofy urban sci-fi. Like if you are like, what's it about? You're like, Sanctuary was weird. I like Amanda Tapping, but that show was just confused. Like I'm like, I no. I said no to that. I couldn't watch it. I'm reading 12 Months right now by Jim Butcher. Um, that book's been a lot of interesting fun. I couldn't get into it because I didn't want to deal with that at the time. Like like they put Amanda tapping in front. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Those crossovers were a lot of fun when I saw them. No. I did watch Dollhouse, and it so Dollhouse suffered from the problem that Fox was having at the time, which is Fox didn't know how to maintain a series at all. So they had it got foxed hard because they were having issues with what was that one with what was that other one? Interesting. No, it's not Firefly. It was the other Fox show that was running around the same time. It had the weird uh it had the really weird science to it. Leonard Nimoy was in it. Fringe, that's it. So Fringe So Fringe and Dollhouse suffered from the same problems, which is Fox was trying to avoid doing what they did with Firefly and ending it in the first series. So what they did is the first season, they made sure it was a contained story in case it got canceled. So the first season was really good. And the same thing was true of Dollhouse, which was it was really good at the beginning because those two shows only had a season to run. And then if the ratings stayed, they were going to continue it. The problem is that as they went along, they renewed more and more seasons of it. Yeah. And then it got to a point where they didn't know how to finish writing it. They're like, well, I guess that's life right now. It's like, okay. So Dollhouse, when it had its, so Dollhouse had that problem because Dollhouse was a really interesting premise, but then the ratings tanked too hard, and then they had to cram that last season together really quick, and it's like, okay, whatever. It's like, all right, I guess that's how we're gonna, view this show now. It was also shown, yeah, like it was meant to be a monster. Like it went from a serial to a monster of the week, and then the monster of the week turned into the show being itself, and it's like, okay. Bum, 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 na, na, na. Did you ever watch True Detective? Not that it was the greatest show ever. That show has a lot of problems. The first season was great. The second season was, oh my god. I finally did get a chance to sit down and watch the third season. Because that's the one in Alaska, right? I'm not missing one. It was Alaska. Yeah, Night Country. That was a very interesting premise. Tin Man. Hmm. That one was monster. I mean, the monster is the. Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed that one a little bit because we started getting to to the end. I'm like, oh, who's killing everybody now? The second season wasn't that good. It really wasn't. The second season of True Detective was my Attack on Titan. The first season was absolutely. Wait, no. Fourth season was Night Country. The third season was the one with Wesley Snipes. Third season was Wesley Snipes. I forgot about that one because that one was closer to season one. Yeah, there's a season in there with Wesley Snipes and the guy that played Cotton. From that that one was actually closer to the first season. Yeah, there's another one in there, Sinister. There's a third one in there. I forgot about it because the third. So I liked the premise of True Detective was fun. So they were younger detectives trying to solve a murder, but then they became older and tried to solve it again. The first season was really, 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 really good. Second season was crap. Third season was closer to the first season, but it wasn't as good. But it was still a solid watch. So much so I still remember it. But the third, but the Night Country one, I was a lot closer to the first season. It was a little bit more fun, even though they didn't state the murder up front like they had previously, or the crime up front like they had previously. But yes, there is a third season for True Detective. Um, Cabinet of Curiosity was nice, interesting. Have you seen the Benoit Blanc show or movie? The Knives Out mystery, whatever it was. The Netflix one was kind of funny. Like I didn't see it as bad. I just laughed at it. Like the Netflix one, I thought it was hilarious. Like I watch it and I still laugh at it sometimes, just because of how goofy it was, or when he's just like it's just dumb. Yeah, I mean Benoit Blanc was meant to be Agatha Christie or Nancy Drew, but for a more modern age. Yeah, like they've been very clear about what the movie it is. Like that was part of the running joke in the Glass Onion. It wasn't, but I laughed my ass off on it. I just liked it because Benoit is just like, this is dumb. It's just dumb. It's still one of my favorite quotes. They're like, it's brilliant. He's like, no, it's just dumb. Yeah. It I I don't watch those movies anymore for like serious plots. It's like, okay, whatever. I think I was watching one movie and I was like, oh, I have to pay attention to all of this to find like the third. No, I'm good. Hmm. I do enjoy sometimes murder mystery movies, but then there's times that I get kind of annoyed with them because I'm like, how are you supposed to make those connections sometimes? And you get to the exposition part and you're just like, okay, whatever. Like a girl in the dragon tattoo. So I watched it because everybody was talking about it, and I was just like, I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. Like, I like Daniel Craig. I just, it's just, eh, yeah. The original Swedish, I'm sure the Swedish novel was better. Um, I just did not connect with it. So that's rock. That's rock. This is not rock. Because I mean, I watched the Swedish one. I was not the Swedish one, the American ones, and I was like, okay, I see why everybody like thought it was good, but I'm just like, I don't care for it. What you up to, Jay? Horror movie. Not a horror fan, but I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. I'm not a big horror guy. Um, hmm, I might have to put that on a list to check out then. Because I was a psychological thriller. I would be up for that. That I don't mind. I was at a writers panel for a convention, and someone had asked what. Um, ooh, interesting. Um, Someone asked what is what do they think kill like what do they think is the greatest downfall of like the horror genre in terms of writing and stuff. And a couple of people unanimously said gore, because a lot of horror now has a lot of gore in it and not a lot of other things in it. shock and gore kind of ruined it. The horror aspects of like gore is just that's kind of what turns me off of a lot of it these days. I'm just like, it's okay. I get it. Move on. I can understand that. I just disassociate from it. Somebody like, oh, it's a great horror movie. I'm like, okay, whatever. Or it's a scary movie. I'm like, okay, I don't care. Yeah, I would understand that. It it is no bueno. Paranormal Activity, really interesting. Um, I know that My Hero Academia hit me a little bit harder on the final season than I thought I was going to, just because it was friendship. Yeah, I it's understandable. Yeah, that is not a good time. That would have that would have been a no bueno time. That was not a fun time at all for anybody. Yeah, it's it's always hard to do your job. I'm finding that out slowly. I realize the job you want to do isn't the job people want you to do. Nope, no Xanderkin. Ba- 2 verse 20. I'm assuming you made it out since you're here. Oh, really? That tends to be a good way to not get in trouble, is to have something like that in your back pocket. Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah. I don't think anybody ever charters taking a life. Good evening, Adeptus. Did you ever watch The Jackal, Sinister? The Day of the Jackal? Which you're saying reminds me of his origin story. The Day of the Jackal is the series. Um, so we were watching it around Christmas time with family, and apparently, Mhm. Don't upset them, Adeptus. A well-trained operator. Um, Retired sniper. Uh, I had a train of thought. Um, and now it's gone. No, it's not. It's there. So the Jason Bourne series, or the book series for Jason Bourne, was apparently written around the legend of the Jackal. So the CIA realized um, it needed somebody to combat a Jackal level threat because nobody could. Because the Jackal was the boogeyman of the assassin community. You didn't know where he was at. You didn't know what he looked like. He was constantly moving. Um, ass is an ass, no matter the ass. Yeah. Um, but the Jason Bourne books, not the movies, um, were meant to fight him. Marine Corps Recon and the Green Berets. How you doing, Lefty? Counteraction. Yeah. There is a difference. There is a difference. You took a bronze medal, by the way? Or was that. Did I misunderstand that you took a bronze medal for your demon guitarist? If you guys don't, and you like Australians, give Lectors a follow. They are beautiful and amazing. They took a bronze medal recently for a figure that I was like, how is that bronze? How is that bronze? Migback was there, wasn't he? SAS and Navy. Ooh. You've done a few things, Sinister. You've done a few things. I used to be able to plink for a minute. Um, it's crazy you guys are picking up bronzes and silvers, but I understand. So, what game are you going to play? Just out of curiosity. Now that you can take a small break from painting. Yeah. Cat pats, yay. Um, I would recommend either Date Everything or Hollow Knight or Blueprints. But Blueprints may be a thinker game. SMC in 2026. That's fun. I'm going to do ReaperCon, and then I need to figure out what we're going to do with passports. But should probably get that renewed. Um, Dispatch, be careful if you stream Dispatch lectors. Apparently, the community has gone like super toxic with that game. Yeah. Oh, come on, Spotify. Stop being stupid. One second. What is causing you to freak out? I miss using YouTube Music, but YouTube Music doesn't play well with other things. I remember some of the hate that Laura Bailey got on that one movie or that one game. Thank you for that, Brother Chos. Brother Echoes. Oh, I have tea. All right, sorry, Spotify is being stupid right now. It's being la dumb. I hate it when it does that. No warnings, just frickety frackety to you, man. It's like, okay, thank you, Spotify. May I please have another? That's good that you got some really cool feedback as well, Vector. we're working on the Lady in the Lake's base. So if I do a lot of blues and greens on hers, I think I'm going to do a lot of violets and magentas up here to counterbalance that, and reds and violets. I'm working with my limited color palette of blues and greens. I'm like, this is actually not what it's actually not turning out that bad. It feels like it's kind of watery and magic-y. And then at some point, pour epoxy on top of it all. It'll be fine. Oh, it'll be. Woman, I've seen your work. I'd be too scared to do anything. Like to come here to America and be like, oh, guess what, mate? Taking bronze today. It is a challenge in our society right now. Trust me, I know. But right now, I wish it wasn't. Nuance. I don't know if it died. It lost its meaning. It was more like it. It became lost. If you wait long enough, it'll fix itself. It became the real problem. Did you ever watch Orville? Specifically, the episodes talking about the Krill and how they were conducting business. Yeah. There's a couple of episodes in there where they were trying to get another person elected and they were doing all kinds of weird stuff. And it's like, I don't think Seth, I don't think he meant for that to be this close to home, but that's pretty close to home right now. Yeah. It's good Star Trek. Watery vibes. So I have Lady of the Lake and I have Lady Genevieve or Guinevere. Genevieve. Wow. Brain, come back. Um, so I wanted to do watery on her base on the Lady of the Lake for sure. And then I think on Guinevere I'll do something as well. It's very topical and smart. Um, he was actually in Enterprise. Thank you for that lyric, Darth Rosie. Not enough blue. Yeah. But the gesture is giving us the more unbiased facts sometimes than the actual news is. It's not a new concept. I mean, it's been always been an old concept. And I mean, that's what nighttime TV's always kind of been about, was meant to be smart news or smarter, satirical comedy on the world, but did not work out well. We saw it in V for Vendetta. It's a little wibbly wobbly soup. We'll see about that other part right now. Right now, I feel like the dust is not going to settle in our favor. It's familiar to not a good time, though, or a timeline we're not supposed to be in. Sometimes we do. It just depends what it is. I need to put up my rate timer. Ah, damn you, work. Ads. Not ads. Ending. That's the button I wanted. We'll be reading out here in about 10 minutes. Call it a night. I gotta do work in the morning. I only get about 2 hours to stream every night, so we maximize our time, we do what we can, and we move on with our days. Got quite a bit of fun stuff done with her in this base. I think that's working out a little bit like I thought it would. With the purples and the blues on the bottom. Something like that. Kind of help define. I might go back to being a darker on that side, on just that top rim piece. Might help keep the infinity of it all. I'm doing all right. Kronos, how are you? We're finding our end of stream soon, unfortunately. Womp, womp, womp. But we must go to work tomorrow. I must correct a mistake that somebody made in an email, so I will have my day. We'll get it done. Working on the base for I can get the actual picture. Derp, derp, derp. Lady of the Lake. That's who we're working on right now. So they did blues and purples and grays. I'm sticking more bluish, and we'll go up from there. I think I'm going to keep the magenta and purples up in her robes. We'll see. We'll see. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4 done. I've got her, Morgan Le Fay, and Sir Percival pulled out right now, or Dulac. This box set's Echoes of Camelot from Big Child's Creative. They are back online and selling again, so it's the 35mm version. That is a whole art. A whole art. Bases itself is another art. The best I have, what I've started doing is trying to do green stuff and extend out the cobblestone. I recently got styrofoam so I could elevate stuff. I don't feel like we should ever replicate stuff. Jealous of what, Sinister? This? I elevated it and slapped it with texture paste, and I said, that looks good. Oh, yeah. One of the interesting things to get Kronos would be pine bark. That's a really good basing material. Or look at 3D printing. Yeah. Okay. I need to find a raid target or I'm going to be here all night. Who are we raiding? We're going to go see our buddy Crucial Blue, who looks like he's working on a Tau. And he looks like he's doing something interesting with it. So I'm going to push the start raid button because ads are coming up shortly. Yeah, for the greater good. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Lecter, welcome back. I look forward to seeing whatever game you play. Be awesome. Stay awesome. Love punk rock. Love yourselves. And everybody have a good day.